Sarah and welcome back to the Scrappery. Today I am actually going to be doing kind of a different project for me. I usually do project life layouts, but today I am going to do an 8.5 by 11 layout. I am going to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of American Crafts textured white cardstock, and then I've got one of those Kaiser mists that came in the kit. It's the kind of sparkly pink one. And I'm just going to do a little bit of the packaging technique, and I am watering it down with a little bit of water because it is a pretty bright pink and I was looking for a little more muted. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of splatters with the sparkly gray color that came in the kit. I'm letting that dry, and then I am going to grab the two stamp sets that came in the kits, and I'm going to use my StazOn in black. I'm going to get that really good and inky, and then I'm going to stamp that kind of in the upper part, and I'm only going to use half of it because I will be covering a lot of that up with some scraps of paper. And now I grabbed the flower one, and I'm going to do that on the bottom a little bit. And then just like the upper one, that will get pretty much mostly covered up with paper. Now there's the picture that I'm going to use. That is a picture of my daughter at a day camp that they had over the summer. It was really fun, kind of vintage themed. It was supposed to be like how girls lived in the 1800s. They had high tea, they took care of chickens, they gardened, they did cursive and fun stuff like that. So here I've got different scraps of the papers that came in the different kits. I've got some of the cardstock that came as 4x6 in the PLK, and then I've got patterned papers that came in the main Scrappery kit. And then there is just a small piece of vellum from my stash that I cut just a tiny bit bigger than the picture. I kind of wanted a muted edge around the picture so it wasn't too busy around the picture. And now I'm just going to use my Easy Runner Grand, which is very, very sticky adhesive, which I need on top of that mixed media to kind of get those different pieces to stay. I just simply cut as many different pieces as I could, and I used that piece I just stuck down right now as my guide for colors. So all of the different colors that I'm using in this layout came from that one piece of the Kaiser Craft flower patterned paper. And now I'm just going to run it through my sewing machine. I did manage to do this in one go. I just ran each strip through my sewing machine, pulled the foot up, pulled it away, and then kept sewing. So there is one strip of sewing on every single piece of paper. That also keeps the pieces of paper glued down nice and tight so nothing moves around once it gets into your scrapbook, because like I said, once you get kind of mixed media going on those pages, stuff does not always stick as well as if it's just plain paper. I did not use any gesso. If I would have used gesso, I absolutely would have needed to sew stuff down because gesso does not like to have stuff stuck to it at all. So here I'm just going to take a second and cut, not very closely, kind of loosely, my thread. So there you can see all my stitches. And I did cover up a lot of the mixed media stuff, but you can still see plenty of pink and gray splatters, and then you can see a lot of the black StazOn ink that I stamped to. I grabbed a few pop dots just to pop my picture up because I knew I was going to want to be putting embellishments under my picture. And here I grabbed my new watercolors because I really wasn't liking how my StazOn worked with the stamps. The stamps were new and I didn't really do anything to them. I know you should use like a pencil eraser to kind of get them started, and then you kind of get a better image. And I know my StazOn is getting a little old and a little dry, so I just started my little black. This is the Prima watercolors, and I think just in the classic colors, and then I'm just kind of coloring in a little bit where the stamped image is a little bit too light for my liking. And I'm just using a small cheap brush and a little bit of water and then the black that came in that kit just to kind of add a little bit of depth of color. And now I'm just kind of going through the little bits and pieces that I have left of my kit. This is basically the equivalent of my 9th layout. I've done 4 double-sided Project Life layouts, and then now this layout. So this basically is my 9th layout with this kit. So I am getting a lot of life out of this kit. I still am going to use up a little bit of my stash with this. That is a little tag that I had laying around as part of that pack of ephemera that I've just been dying to use up. That is from Simple Stories Posh, and then that is a Maggie Holmes bow. This is all just kind of my leftovers from my fall and late summer scrapbooking that I kind of had laying around. I've also still have more of those Maggie Holmes tassels. I dug around into one of my old Scrappery kits and I found a doily. I used up all the ones that came in this month's kit, but I did find one from a couple kits ago that I still had left. I think it came in the traditional Christmas kit. So I still had 2 left in that kit. And now I'm just playing around with the different pieces of ephemera. At this point, I didn't really even know where the layout was going. I just knew I had a lot of bits and pieces I wanted to get used up. That is a wood button with XOXO enamel piece in the middle from Maggie Holmes. Now I'm going to get out my trusty glue dots. Those have been working so good on those Kaisercraft paper blooms. They haven't moved around. They haven't shifted, not even once I get them into my scrapbook. I've been really happy with that. And now I think I'm probably just searching around for what else I want to add to the layout. Where the darker black doily is on the top there, I knew I wanted to do like a secondary cluster up there. And I'm just kind of digging around because I usually do a lot of prep and I did not do a ton of prep for this. I was kind of just going by the seat of my pants on this one. So here I grabbed that word heart, and that is from the Paige Evans fall line that came out in the fall. She had a pack of word thickers. Some were white, some were gold. Now I'm grabbing some old Maggie Holmes. I think these were from Gather. So I'm going to make it say Sweetheart. And I am going to play with those a little bit because I'm dealing with 3 different layers. I've got the H on the heart, the doily, which is down lower, and then there we go. My camera died while I was fiddling. So all I did was add that one-of-a-kind word thicker, so it says one-of-a-kind sweetheart. And then I added that enamel deer from Maggie Holmes. There I just grabbed one of the Maggie Holmes tassels and a paper clip from my stash and stuck that onto the back. And then I'm going to add another one of those floral blooms. And then there was a white kind of antique-y tag that came in the kit, which I just wrapped around that XOXO button. I thought that looked absolutely perfect and antique-y for the picture that I was using. She is sitting in the old schoolhouse there, getting ready for her day to start. They just wore like tank tops and light shorts, and then when they got there, they changed into like period costumes and hats and stuff. It was so fun. She had such a good time, and I can't wait for her to go again this summer. Now I'm playing around with that other doily from the traditional Christmas kit, and I know I want to cover up some of this black doily because it is a little dark and it's kind of drawing your eye away from the picture. So I grabbed the Maggie Holmes sticker sheet and some pop dots, and I used that big floral to kind of cover it up, and I grabbed a leaf from that sticker sheet also. That one I did not pop up on a pop dot. And then I had a few of these leftover hearts from, I think they were from the Pink Paisley Sale-A-Vie, because I think it just needed a little bit of brown to ground it, so I tucked a couple of those in. Now I'm going to grab some enamel dots and some Kaisercraft pearls and gems for my stash, and I'm going to do 3 clusters of those. And then I decide that I still have a few sequins left, and in that sequin mix from Rennell are some gold hearts. So I grabbed those and some of my new Tombow Mono, I think it's called liquid adhesive. I don't know, I'm loving it so far because I'm not fighting with it like I did with the multi-adhesive. And I'm just using a bead reamer to kind of move those around to where I want them exactly on the layout. And I think we are just about done. I think I'm going to pick it up here in a second and kind of give you guys a closer look. And then at the end, you will get a ton of close-ups. I think I put 5 close-ups in at the end. And then as always, if you are a member of the Facebook group, you can see lots more close-ups on that too. Here I just grabbed a piece of scrap paper and I did some typing on my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter, and it just said Bella had such a fun time at the Leduc Day Camp. That was the Leduc Mansion, that is an old mansion from the 1800s in our small town, and they have a lot of festivals there, like Christmas festivals, and they do a big Halloween event, and it's always kind of open for weddings and fun stuff like that. So anyhow, that's it for me today, ladies. I hope you enjoyed my layout. It is a different thing for me. So thanks, ladies. Bye-bye.